Hello everyone and welcome to yet another Palia video. So ever since the update dropped, all I have been able to think about is flowers and the new furniture set. So what better way to get it out of my system than to making some small cute builds with them. I've been meaning to start doing build idea videos on my channel for a while now, and this seemed like the perfect opportunity for it. Before I head into this video, I do want to mention a couple things really quickly. One being that 3 of all the available types of flowers are currently not available in-game just yet due to a bug, which are the pink hydrangea, mixed hydrangea and the cotton ball flower. And the second being, if you don't know how to get this furniture set, be sure to go check out the store at Badru's farm, where the first 3 recipes will be available to you, which after that will trigger new recipes when crafting the starter tree recipe. I will explain with each build which flowers were used and which bug can be hunted for those seeds to drop. But if you don't want to spend time doing this, you can also go to Ani's guild store and purchase the seeds directly from him. Now, time to look at these builds. So, first up, here I went in with the Spring Fever pergola and the Spring Fever bench behind it. So I put the pergola in front of the bench so it would frame the area nicely, and I put some of the blanket items scattered all around it, which all of them can be found with an off chance in the Kilima rummage piles. I've also added in some chests there to place some little knickknacks on, and leaning up to the bench I've used the Spring Fever stone edging scattered around into a nice small walkway, and around the build I have used some of the homestead lamps. You also used some small trees. For flowers I have used the anemone and the rose flowers. The anemone can be obtained from the garden mantis and the rose flowers can be obtained from the Kilima night moth. The next build is a relatively small build but cute to fill your garden up somewhere. The key word here being garden, because I made a garden with 2 small flower beds. I used some of the wood etching to make a border around it, and I used the Spring Fever trellis arch as an entryway into this little garden. I used the butcher blocks as a stepping stone path in between the 2 flower beds, and I also added in the Spring Fever wheelbarrow with a small flower pot on there, along with some other items like the makeshift outhouse and the ravenwood flower bouquet, along again with some chests and cute little knickknacks. Now for the flower beds I have used every flower available to me as of right now, which are the anemone, the rose, the gardenia flower, which can be obtained from the blue common butterfly. I have used the chappa-tails flower, which can be obtained from the brush-tailed dragonfly. I used the forsythia flower that can be obtained from the spotted stinkbug, the tulips that can be obtained from the garden leafhopper, and last but not least the tiger lilies, which can be obtained from the proudhorn stag beetle. For the third build, I wanted to go for a more autumnal, a more warm and cozy outdoors feeling, so I've used all the different sized Spring Fever fairy lights and again the Spring Fever bench as a nice focus point, along with 2 other benches to opposite sides, and I have used some Emberborn furniture in this build. I used most of the pumpkin items that could be obtained during the Winterlight Festival, and I have also used a lot of candle items to really make it feel warm, cozy, autumnal, and to place on again some chests. I also used the young silverwing nest reward from completing the Vault of the Gills bundle as a backdrop to match the single small juniper tree along with some regular sapwood trees. For the flowers I used the gardenias, tulips and chappa-tails. The next build isn't entirely my own, I do have to say that, because I've seen a few people do this type of build before already. I did however add some little ideas in there myself that I have not seen people do before. So for the water I used the bellflower runner in the blue customization, and I of course had to use the little frogbird plushie in there that we can get from this new update, and along with some butcher blocks as driftwood. Some of the flotsam recipes found in the Bahari bay rummage piles like the conch. And I've added a stone edging border all around the build, and I use the Spring Fever rock stack and Spring Fever short lamp in this build. For the lily pads, and I am saying this with air quotes because they kind of look like lily pads but not really, I use the stacked dessert and dinner plates along with some other knickknacks in there to really fill it up. For flowers, I mainly use the Grimalkin tail flowers because they sort of look like cattails to me, which are plants you can often find in and along body of waters, mostly ponds. And I also used some of the chapatails and gardenia flowers. The next and also the last small build is a cute sitting / cooking area. I have used the Spring Fever fire pit and Spring Fever chimney in this build. I added in a couch to sit on, and all underneath the Spring Fever pergola, to which I also added in some of the Spring Fever curved lamps, and I put the Spring Fever flat trellis in front of this as an entryway. I did customize this item to match the rest of this build. When you originally first craft this, it will be white. Again, in this build I added in some little knickknacks, some lighting to fill the space up a little, and I used the adult saproot trees as a bit of a backdrop, along with the forsythia flowers, the chapatails and gardenia flowers. Now, the only flowers I did not use in these builds, but that are to be found, are the blue hydrangea and the lavender. The blue hydrangea can be obtained while hunting for the dusk-winged butterfly, which is on the rarer side, so to ensure your chances, be sure to either use honey lures and or a buzzy jar while hunting. And the garden millipede, which will drop the lavender seed. Hopefully these builds can and will inspire you as well to build to your heart's content on your own plot, but also let me know down in the comments what builds you may have already done with the new flowers and furniture. I would love to see them all. This was it for today's video. Be sure to hit the like, subscribe and notification bell to always stay up to date on another video, and see you next time. Bye bye.